What is going on, everybody? Bobby Fi here. Hopefully, we'll have Sheets here shortly. Going to talk through this slate, which is already getting weird because a game that we weren't even worried about really weather-wise just got canceled. That's the White Sox and Royals. Also, it looks like there's a little bit better situation for the Mets in Arizona, and Boston and New York is, for me, just a complete stay away at this point. I actually don't want to touch it. I think that it's a mess. So I am probably going to be avoiding that one. But that Royals one, so there's a lot of implications of what happens with the Royals and White Sox here. Like what's going to happen is you're going to have like a really weird situation where Cease was going to be like popular and Luzardo was going to be the low-owned guy. And I was very into Luzardo. Now my guess is Luzardo is going to be pretty popular. So that's a little bit tricky. And I also was into the White Sox as a three-man or even a four-man. I think that it made some sense against Singer. And now I'm going to have to figure out how to redo that. So very weird slate. It's going to get weirder probably any minute. That's, by the way, I want to put a little note out there that I'm not 100% sure this football game is going to play tonight. There is a shelter in place now going on around the stadium. So I don't really know how that works. Like I'm just trying to figure it out. So we'll get to football later, but Sheets. So I don't know if you've heard, but like just the KC game was just postponed, which is strange because the weather looked completely non-threatening. Roth had it as green. So, and we're probably going to lose Boston. So it's probably a 9-game slate. And what it means is, we're going to see a lot of ownership. I think Luzardo and Sonny Gray were my darling low-owned guys, and now they're going to be probably fairly popular because Dylan Cease was going to eat up a lot of that ownership. Also, the White Sox were going to be a lot of the value plays people used to get in the big bats, and I don't think they're not going to be able to. So it's become a little bit of a weird slate today.
So it's literally the first time I'm hearing any of this.
I just heard it 2 minutes right before I came on. It was announced literally like if it was. I still don't even have the official announcement, but it was announced I think at 5:48 p.m. 5:58 p.m.
No, I wasn't going to play them. I wasn't going to play much of that anyway, but it doesn't change the fact that now I have to just change all the projections and do whatever. I don't have to. I can just X them out.
Yeah,
that's fine.
The thing that's going to change is I think we covered it. Like it's going to be that Sonny Gray and one thing is Gilbert and Valdez will be even more popular, and Sonny Gray and Luzardo will be, I think, now much more popular than they were going to be because people are going to try and get in those big bats, so they want to try to spend a little bit down. Potentially, even a guy like Reed Detmers will be more popular because.
That's good for me.
Well, yeah, probably me too, because my big lineup today, my big buy-in right now has the Dodgers and Seattle.
Yeah.
So as we discussed earlier, so I'm into that, and like you said, you can have the 5-man, the 5-man Seattle stack. I'll take the 3-man, and we'll see if one of us can get there with it.
I think that's what I'm going to do, and then I was going to play Gilbert with Cease, but now I'm not going to, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. So what do I do now?
Well, Luzardo is the easy pivot. It's 200 more if you can.
The easy one, but is that the right one?
He's my favorite. He's my favorite pitcher on the slate, to be honest. Just separately. When you factor everything in, if I factor him at 15 or 20% ownership, I still like him. I think the best. People don't. I think he has the best strikeout rate on the slate now. It's probably pretty close between he and Woodruff and Glass now. But I like the discounted price. Milwaukee doesn't scare me. It's he's facing 8 righties, but he's much better against lefties, but he's still really good against righties. He's a really good pitcher. So I'm probably, that's what I'm going to do. I should say, I can't tell anybody else what to do, but that is definitely what I'm going to do. And as we discussed earlier, my pitchers right now are Gray, Valdez, Luzardo, Gilbert as my main ones. Happy to incorporate Glasnow and Woodruff. Just I found I wanted to spend up for the Dodgers and Houston, and not Chicago. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what I'm doing now. What I'll probably do. Maybe I'll do something useful here. I'm gonna run another.
Yeah, we already got a request for you to building lineups on live again.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do first I have to fix this thing. Okay. So let me do this then. How about this? First, I will finish this one thing. So that game is postponed. That's fair enough. So let me. Yeah, the Kansas City game is in fact postponed within the DraftKings thing now. So let me so for example, let me share my screen and see what this means to the average man. Okay, so let me pull up the DraftKings thing on SaberSim here, and I'm going to start all over.
Okay.
Just show you guys what to do. All right, so first I'm going to just upload the projection. Now, again, for those of you who are SaberSim subscribers through TrueDFS, they'll already be preloaded for you. I just like to do it offline here. Okay, so now the first thing I want to do is I want to X out KC, Chicago, not Minnesota, sorry. One second. Okay. Boston, I'm going to X out. In New York. And the other thing I'm going to have to X out, see, even when you X them out, it still gets the pitchers. So I want to X out. Cease is X'd out, actually, which is good. Singer is X'd out as well. So let me see what I get now with all of this stuff. Now, one thing I didn't do, though, is update the ownership projections, which have to be different because now more ownership is going to go from Cease to these other guys.
The problem is you're going to have a hard time figuring that one out right now because it's
right.
going to take a minute to update those things.
I'm not going to do it right. Yeah, I'm going to do it again later. But this is my process. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I wonder what I'm going to get here. As usual, it's going to depend on what settings you put. Like, for example, I'm going to show you guys two things. I'm going to show you guys a ranking by Saber score, and then I'm going to show you a ranking by using the contest sims and show you the difference. Like when I ran the contest sims, what they usually do is pick their favorite kind of chalky pitcher and just stack the crap against them. I wonder which one that's going to be this time. It's either going. I'm guessing because Oakland's cheap, I'll probably end up with a bunch of Oakland. That's probably going to be what the contest sim build. Now again, shows. Now again, you don't have to play any of these things. You know, this is just gives you different options and different ways to do it.
I would be shocked if Oakland came up.
You'll see. You'll see.
I'm not saying that it just won't come up as a five. I mean,
you'll see. All right. So here are just the regular ones. Yeah, these are what I expected. Like Mets, Milwaukee. Oh, a lot of Mets. Zona. Boy, a whole bunch of Mets actually. Look at this. Like 70% Mets. That's a little bit surprising. Now that's again, I'm just gonna say these just so I have them, and then I'll show you what the when I run a contest sim what that looks like. So run contest sim, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna predict. Well, who are the chalk pitchers? Gilbert, Valdez. Who's the other top guy? Glasnow. So it's gonna. Who does Tampa play? Minnesota. So I'm going to predict it's either Minnesota, Oakland, or whoever Seattle plays. Let's see.
I just don't understand why it would ever get to Oakland, but I guess
I'm just guessing because they're cheap and Valdez rates really good. Let's see. All right, so here we go. So we're going to list these by Flash ROI and Oakland 100%. I know this algorithm.
That's for sure.
That's true. I know this algorithm.
Oh my God.
I don't know what to tell you guys. That's what it is. So like I said, I mean, not that you have to do this, but this is if you want like ultra leverage, this is what you have. You get like 3,100, 2,400, 2,600 guys hitting third, second, and fifth and fourth against a pitcher who rates well. So that's what you get when you run it this way. So I am probably, because this is the United States of America and I don't have to do anything I don't want to do, I'm probably not going to do this. What I will probably do is go back to that other bill, which made a little more sense to me. And what I'll probably do is get myself. This is just for MME. We're going to do the big buy-in in a second.
Yeah.
But we're going to go back to this and probably play a little bit less of the Mets. I think. I don't know. Mets look pretty good.
I like the Mets.
Yeah. So let's. But I do want to play some Seattle in the MME too. So, and sometimes what I'll do just for spite is I'll play like a team in my big buy-in and like 0 of them in MME. It's not usually the right thing to do, but sometimes I'll do that anyway. So let's make this 50 again. Okay, okay, fair enough. And we'll download these. We'll up these, and then we'll have the fun stuff. We'll build the winner. We'll build the big buy-in winner. I think I have it already, and I'll just show you what I have right now. Maybe I'll tweak it a little bit, but I really I don't want to say I liked it because the whole thing isn't pretty. There's a couple of really like crappy plays in there, so I'm going to mess around with it. But let me just finish the MME stuff first. And I know Jordan is going to yell at me because I know I'm supposed to use the entry editor within Saberson to do this, but I'm just not really as well versed with it as doing it the long way. So we're going to do this. I'm going to save these for now. We're going to save these for now. And then save this. And then we'll upload these. Now, I'm going to go through that was fun. Now I'm going to go through the whole process. Let me just see what I have on my DraftKings before I share this. Make sure this is okay. Yeah, so if I was just going to use the sheets, again, it's going to look stupid because so many of these guys are out. But it looks like Gilbert, Valdez, Woodruff, they're all seem pretty logical. If I was going to pivot, you know what? Did you consider, are you using Sonny Gray after all that?
Yeah.
Oh, you are. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I like that. But with respect to my big buy-in, I mean, I'll just do it live like I did before. I mean, I'm just Seattle's not a bad play anyway, and I don't know. I'm only human, I have to go back to what won me all the money before. So it's just going to be, literally the same guys. It's going to be the same thing we built online before, which was, now I got to figure out whether I want to play Dylan Moore at second base or the outfield, but it's going to be France. It's going to be obviously Johnny Bench, or otherwise known as Kyle Raleigh. And then it's probably going to be Dylan Moore, but let's just see what else. So as far as pitching goes, I wasn't going to go actually with what's his name, with the cheapo, with Cease. I was going to go with these guys. So now I have 3,300 per man, and what I was going to do is I was actually going to do some Arizona guys. That's my original 5-3, but this looks pretty good. I'm not going to be able to afford, unfortunately, Rodriguez with this pairing. So this is totally fine, these guys. So what other value pieces? I mean, I can't play. You know what I mean? I put myself in a corner here. Now, Avila, is Hernandez playing, you think? Kiki Hernandez?
I didn't know what you were talking about. I mean, I don't know how injured David Peralta is from yesterday, so I really don't know how to answer that one.
What's your Peralta?
Pretty typical pivot. They're 100 separating. So
let's see what Peralta says. He underwent X-rays that came back negative, but we just don't know, right?
Yeah, but they're up by 20 games. There's no real reason to mess.
I mean, you could do something like this. You could play both these. Not Taylor. I meant Outman with the Peralta. I wanted to, and I could always just finagle around with this later, right?
Yeah, and maybe leave enough to either get to Taylor or Kike.
Yeah,
in case he's
that
out.
works. But what was it? The Arizona guys I was looking at. And this game isn't completely safe either, I don't think. But
no, but they've got it, and yeah, it's weird because like what we said about the weather is one thing, but if there's shelter in place orders, and I understand that it's in a different location where if the Jets play, but it's not that far, right? We're talking about what, 15 miles?
not even.
Not even, right? Yeah. Okay. So like, there is some risk there. There has to be, right?
Absolutely.
About the football game being played, a baseball game ain't getting played. Like,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Now the other thing I have to do is, by the way, if you guys missed it, I just did the lineup. So that's it. If you blinked, you missed it. So now I want to do FanDuel also. I was only going to play 30 over there just because it's not really paying anything. I mean, like it's
The tournaments are not great.
Yeah, but I'm going to win that the monster. That's of course going to pay like 2 cents for first, just for.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, just for max tilt there.
Calling a shot.
Yeah, something like that. And I already have that line. Oh, that lineup had cease in it. Crap. So I got to change all this. All right, fair enough. So I wonder if I could just X out these guys, X out White Sox, X out KC, and see if it'll make those changes. Yeah, we will actually. That's interesting. But I want to play, and you know me with my 4-4s, right?
Yeah.
Love that. They look so. It's like so OCD. I just love it.
Yeah.
Let's see what I would get. It's really not liking any of this. But okay, so Mets, Padres, all kinds of Padres.
Yeah, I mean, it makes some sense. Like, Vegas gives a lot more respect to Gavin Stone than he's earned yet. He is a real prospect. He has not pitched well at all so far in the majors, but it's a pretty limited sample size. And it's weird to see only a 4.3 run total for the team that gets over. I bet you they've missed they've been one of the worst offenses in terms of hitting the over. They have to have been because they've been awful.
Who, the Padres?
Yeah. They have all these hitters, and yet they don't score. They don't do anything. But I actually think that they're very viable tonight. And they're already going to be low owned, but like as we always point out, every minute that passes by makes them more of a candidate to be lower owned. The truth is, I wouldn't expect anything crazy to shake up either the Dodgers or Padres lineup. I would initially, I actually think the Dodgers coming back from an East Coast trip up by 1 million games, for an ordinary game, they would have probably rested like every star player they have. But the Padres, after being eliminated from the playoffs by them last year, and they're already what the Dodgers fans consider like the biggest joke of a rivalry because they finally beat us. The first time in 25 or 30 years that they actually beat us in a series of any kind.
Who, the Padres?
Yeah, the last year. But the Dodgers, there is definitely some bad blood between these teams. So I think they put their best foot forward. Is my basic point. Is that I think both teams play anybody they can.
It's a Steve Garvey revenge.
Oh man, there's a real thing though. I mean, also then Machado going there and everything, and then the Padres talking about how they're the real team and all that stuff.
Yeah, so this is what you have to do. You got to be very careful with SaberSim because even when you X out games, like I'm getting Linus with cease for literally no reason.
Yeah, he's fixing it, Banks. He puts in the sheets. You want to just give him a real quick thing about you do. You put in you have your initial build things and then you repopulate them later.
Yeah,
so all those builds are going to be totally different.
Yeah. But what happens is even right. But if I could just like reset this whole thing, for example. Can reset this, and then probably all the White Sox will disappear. I think.
It's updated.
Yeah, there you go. So it looks well. I got to rebuild. But he's still in the lineups. But if I rebuild, then I got you. Away because there's no longer any projection.
Yeah.
Let's we'll X out the Red Sox because I don't want them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Xing that game out. I'm not interested in that. Although, if it did play, I mean, like I would like it, but it's orange red, and what am I going to do? I can't play that.
No, it looks pretty tough. It's also like for look, if you want to feel any better about fading it because of it, it's not the best. It is Boston, so maybe it doesn't matter, but it's not like the best hitting weather in Boston. Little wind blowing in 70 degrees, not like the 90-degree game with the wind blowing 15 miles an hour out to left or something.
Right.
Yeah, no, you'll see Banks. It's got him because he's already in the lineups he played. He's talking about rerunning it. Don't worry, he's not going to have season in the lineups.
Maybe you never know. You never know.
What do you mean?
Oh, there it is. There it is. Season. I don't know why Saberson's doing this to me. They're just killing me.
You just gotta delete him, I guess.
Yeah, if it'll let me. Oh, there it is. Okay. So if I did this, then I would get all kinds of Gavin Williams. Oh my God. Like 1,000,000% Gavin Williams.
Yeah.
So I'll probably end up rerunning this whole thing after. If I make Min unique 2, why am I getting all these? Like just 2 pitchers here. Saberson's in a bad mood today.
Yeah. Yep. Milwaukee 307.
Gavin Williams might not be the worst play in the world, though.
Yeah. And you know, I heard some people talking earlier and saying, oh, I wanted to throw one thing out just more about Luzardo for a second. People are saying, oh, Milwaukee only has, they're like the 9th best team in terms of strikeout rate against lefties. That's absolutely false information. They happen to have faced lefties the 4th fewest times of any team in baseball. So, like, for example, the Philadelphia, who struck out the most against lefties, has 400 more at-bats against lefties than Milwaukee does this season. So you really have to try an actual look for percentages, which then it makes Milwaukee going from 21st in terms of strikeouts up to 7th per at-bat. Actually, 8th. But I just wanted to point that out about Luzardo. I do think Gavin Williams is gonna be a play people use, and I think that makes some sense. I also think I think that he's fine. I just think that I'd rather slightly play Luzardo, and he's not enough cheaper. But he has a ton of upside. That kid, he's really good. He's got a lot of talent. Are they gonna let him even extend anything? I don't know. Doesn't feel quite right to me.
So I am gonna have to go to dinner in a little bit. So I'm gonna miss the football thing. So are you a believer now about the popularity about the Hardy?
No, I haven't relooked at anything football wise yet since I did my builds earlier.
I'm not sure whether he's a good player or not, because maybe he thought he was going to lower him because nobody knew that wasn't his name before.
Deontay Hardy.
Yeah, it was with Deontay Harris when he was on New Orleans.
Oh, it's the same one, huh?
Same guy, yeah.
Oh, it is. Somehow I missed that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, you don't get that every day.
No. Maybe next week, maybe Tyreek Hill change his name and people won't play him.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Maybe he could be Tyreek Evans or something like that.
How about Tua? How about the fact that all they do the whole offseason is just rip Tua apart? Why do we even care about Tua? All this stuff. And then all he does is every time the season starts, he comes out, boom, 450 yards.
Right.
It's been like every year, too.
Well, we thought that I didn't think that he'd play again.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably shouldn't.
And he spent the offseason learning how to fall. They had him with judo instructors teaching him how to fall, which I don't know how that works with lineman guys hitting you, but it's just such a funny thing. Okay. I'll just say real quickly I have my 4 pitchers. My favorite stacks are Dodgers and Houston 1 and 1A, 1A and 1B, and they're really close. I think that Dodgers a little bit ahead. I think Seattle is the next, and it's just because the Dodgers are actually a little easier to get in than Houston. Seattle is the next team for me, followed by the Mets, followed by Chicago, followed by Colorado. That's how I have it ranked.
Yeah, I like. I mean, the Cubs are obviously good, but they're just.
Yeah, it's just really hard to win with them.
And I do like the whatchamacallit. I do like the Mets. I do like Seattle. And this Milwaukee thing was kind of appealing to me just a little bit.
Yeah.
Those are my faves. And with respect to, again, I'm not gonna be around for the football, but what I'm doing, just with the footballs, I want to say even almost do this old school. I'm gonna leave money on the table on purpose, and see if that helps. I didn't like my lineups last night, just with respect to how much so many of them were duped. One day I'll go through that again with you guys to show you like how you can tell like how duped your lineups are. There's that site that I did a video with the dude from sportsprojections.com where you can with like right after the slate locks you can see like how many unique lineups you have or how many what kind of dupes you have and stuff like that. And I was really just not happy with my lineups with their uniqueness. So I'm gonna screw around with different ways to make that better. Today I'm gonna go back to what I did all last year was do manually. What was I gonna say? Leave like at least 800 on the table just to screw around. I think I'm still gonna get lineups that are. I think I would get them naturally anyway, just because of the $200 guy. But I'm gonna do that as well and just see kind of what happens.
Yeah, and I'm going to be really rebuilding my lineups. I'll post them in Discord once I'm done. I'm probably going to be out of here in like 4 or 5 minutes though, because I do well, actually, you know what? I've made some changes. I can whittle it down, 640 or whatever if I need to. But yeah, it's for me. I actually talked myself into the White Sox, and I was going to come on here talking about the White Sox, and then
the White Sox.
That's what I was going to do before right as I was coming on.
Okay.
So I had them in my early builds. They sort of made a lot of things work. But I think the White Sox have sort of converted over to some of the Mets pieces like DJ Stewart and Brett Beatty and guys like that for cheap. DJ Stewart can hit, by the way. I feel like he should play more.
What's that?
This DJ Stewart's not bad. I like this guy, and I don't know why he doesn't play more, especially for this Mets team. Okay, what else? Any questions, guys, before we get out of here? Sheets goes to dinner, and I get done with baseball and get ready to do the NFL show in a little bit.
Yeah, you never know, man. If we're I'm not planning on it, but I'll tell you, if like somebody's doing well in the showdown as it's winding down, and the Mariners are like threatening stuff. I mean, we might make a call an audible and go live later. Who knows? We have to see. I'm not promising it. This is going to be completely a results-based decision. Like if we got something good, we'll go live. We're not just going in to root for other people today. We'll do that a different day.
Yeah, for sure. Xing out seasons. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to probably go and get my lineup.
Change out of here. All right. Good luck, everybody.